I'm Natalie Dupree here for postandcourier.com, and what I have today is a kind of a New Orleans shrimp. It's the first shrimp that I learned when I lived in New Orleans when I was a very young woman in my 20s, and it's got a gracious plenty of butter in it. Now, in fact, you could add 2 more sticks of butter. There are 2 sticks in here right now. It calls for something like 2 pounds of butter, but I'm afraid that you'll all write the paper and drum me out of here, so I'll just do it when you're not looking. Then I have some garlic in here, chopped garlic, and a lot of it, and just a little oil. Oil will prevent the butter from burning, so that's why you have a little in there. And then I've got lots of herbs here. I've got marjoram and thyme and rosemary. And rosemary really gives it a great bump up. It does, but all of these are nice. You can use dried ones. In fact, when I first learned the recipe, we used dried ones. And this is sort of, everybody fights about what Manali's shrimp was, so I'm not going to dare call it that. But when I learned it, that's what it was called. And so you get your herbs chopped up as much as you want. This is not a fussy recipe. This is a recipe where you want things clinging to your hands because you're going to eat it with your hands. And then just a little lemon juice, tons of freshly ground pepper, maybe a cup, maybe 2, just depends on your family and what you know that you like, just as much as you like. And then a little smoked paprika. Always measure carefully. You don't want to, how can you measure carefully when you're talking about shrimp? Stir it all together. And the trick is that you want to let this all cook together, and just a little hot sauce. Once again, always measure carefully. You know your family. Now, you cook all that together, and then you let it sit. And you can do this the night before, that morning. You know, you could even make it ahead and freeze it for that matter, because you want this to taste really, really good, because you're going to sop it up with bread, and that's why you have all that gracious plenty. Now, here's some local shrimp in the shell, and so I'm going to go ahead and put them in here. Now, locally, a lot of people, including my friend Duke, used to eat the shells of the creek shrimp and still maintain that they eat the shells of shrimp and show me that they do. And in New Orleans, they do as well, particularly with those tiny little marsh shrimp. But if you don't want to, you can just put a lot of newspapers out on the table and have everyone peel their own shrimp, which is a lot of fun, casual, and of course the kids really love it. This is sort of a great thing to do the day after a holiday when you don't want to do a gracious amount of cooking or dishes or anything like that. And so then you just cook this until the shrimp turns pink. You want it just a light pink. Then, after it turns pink, you put it into the oven for about 15 minutes, and that gets those shells crisper and easier to peel and easier to eat. If you're going to eat them straight from here because you're in a rush, then you let the shrimp cook until they're thoroughly pink. Then the thing that you want to serve it with is plenty of luscious French or Italian bread. How nice. And take and slice it and give everybody a wonderful slice, because of course what they're going to do is do this as well as eat up the shrimp. It's really up to you. It's your sauce and it's your shrimp, and you get to do it whatever way suits you the most, because the point is it's going to be a big pleasure eating it for everybody in the household. So I'm Natalie Dupree, here for postandcourier.com with New Orleans shrimp. Don't let it boil like that.